Boulder's startup scene is extremely vibrant. It's full of people who are adventurous and who are smart and who like to do things outdoors.
It's explosive right now. You can walk around town and see other startup CEOs and founders and CTOs just walking down the street or in a coffee shop, and you don't see that in every city, and you don't feel it. And you can walk around downtown and hear people talking about technology on the street, and it's incredible. I mean, I just went to LA and San Francisco and New York, and the only other place I really noticed that was San Francisco. I mean, you can hear people talking about companies, starting companies on the street here. Yeah. So. Well, the cost of living compared to what you get is pretty low. I live downtown and have an amazing, apartment for, and based on where I used to live in New York, this is like a palace practically. But then you're 30 minutes away from the mountains. There's tons of great restaurants. There's tons of great shopping. And so it feels like a big city, but you can also, as you're walking into a restaurant, see a couple people that you know. And so it has kind of that small town friendly feel. And of course, the weather, it's 300 days of sunshine a year. And, people leave on a Tuesday to go skiing, but then they'll come back and work on a Saturday. So, people really get their work done, but they take full advantage of what they have here in terms of nature and the mountains and the weather. And so, and that's just speaking about the city. That's not even including how much, innovation is happening here and how much capital is coming into the city. And so, as a startup coming into the city, you have all of these things at your fingertips.
That's a great question. I think it's a lot of things. So the ability to do a lot of outdoor sports is huge. The ability to find and interact and mingle with really, really successful progressive thinkers in town. And a great support network of really interesting small tech startups. And you can walk down the street in Boulder and bump into somebody that can help you out with search engine marketing, or somebody that has a video analytics platform. And I think those are the kind of things that are going to make Boulder really successful in the long term, is companies in Boulder actually working together and being solutions for each other. We've had a number of startups, leave Boulder because they got too big for Boulder. So that's another thing that the town's going to have to work on is, founders of companies should be committed to the town if they want to stay for the long run. And if companies are going to leave, that's their prerogative. But I think in the long run, as more larger companies are established and can stay longer, it's going to be really good for Boulder.
Basically, entrepreneurship in Boulder has been defined by a couple of the big entrepreneurial networks. For example, Techstars has attracted a lot of tech entrepreneurs. I know in the last year, downtown Boulder has started being saturated with small tech entrepreneurs in different offices all over downtown Boulder. You go to the coffee shops and you see people typing on computers that have Techstars stickers, and so they definitely it's definitely turned more tech. I think that's probably the case everywhere because that's where the industry is going. But there's definitely the things that they need to really survive and thrive here in Boulder.
So it's a really good question. So when I got to Boulder about 2.5 years ago, it was really vibrant back then, but since then it's kind of just gotten to a different level. I think one thing that you can point to and say, Boulder is just exploding at the seams. There's no more office space in downtown Boulder. It's 100% occupied. So if you want to get office space in Boulder, most likely you're going to have to take space with another company. This is what we do.
Oh wow, yeah. I mean, the Denver's just at an amazing place right now. Like I said, I lived in New York and I saw this exact same thing happen there, where you have capital and co-working and education and all of it coming into very dense pockets, and that leads to just an explosion of innovation and new technology and new companies. And so, you know, I think Denver over the next couple years is going to be one of the places in the world to come to start a company.
I see only up. I mean, I think the interest for people moving here from both coasts, interest from venture capitalists, you know, seeking talent in Boulder and all the ideas coming out of it, it's just never ending. You can walk around Boulder and see ideas happening on every street corner, and I think a lot of people want to be a part of that. And so, I mean, I think it's only up for Boulder.
You know, Boulder is kind of interesting little experiment, I would say. You have, on one side, you have some very large companies that started here, like Rally Software and White Wave Foods, which is a health food company. But in many ways, it's kind of it's a breeding ground for smaller stage startups, specifically ones that are business to business, services, and some business to consumer. And as they kind of grow, they kind of outgrow Boulder in some ways. So many companies will leave to either go to New York or Silicon Valley, or increasingly finding Denver, which is just 30 minutes south of Boulder, office space there and expanding their companies, staying in the mountain region.
Boulder is really known for social responsibility. I know I was a former CU student, and I saw how the program at CU was called Corporate Social Responsibility, and that was a big focus on the business school, how to practice business with in an ethical way, and that's been really prevalent here in Boulder. It's not only about how do we make money, but how do we make money while also creating benefit and solving big problems that affect a more deep problem in the community. And
I would say a lot of B2B technology services, less amount of B2C technology services, and definitely clean tech as well.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, it comes skiing, I think, especially if it came in the winter. I think, you know, I came to Boulder and I didn't know a single person. That's not true. I knew one person named Natty Zola from Everlater, and we had worked together at GE. And when I came out here, I was like, hey, what should I do? He's just like, go to events, go meet people. And I made it a point of just emailing and calling people and setting up coffee meetings and lunches and going to events. And, you know, I feel like I have a really strong network here now, and it was really easy. People didn't say no. I really don't think there was a single person, not a single person, at any level of startup scene, whether, you know, beginners or at the top of the food chain, that said no to a meeting with me. And I think that's something that you won't find in a lot of places, but it's something that's really telling about how people in Boulder do business. Inclusive, open to new ideas, and willing to take kind of risks to expand the community that they feel indebted to.
Hi everyone, thanks so much for watching the Leeap project. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Now remember, if you would like to see any more information or extra bonus footage that we shot during the trip, hop onto our website. And I'll catch you next week when we head to Austin to check out what their startup scene looks like.